Hello everyone. Today, let us nourish wisdom for the mind, for the life element within us that has no shape or form. Let us loosen our grasp from delusion and attachment to the many tools we rely on, whether material elements or even this body itself, which is but a tool. Voice, mental images, emotions, sensations, memories, all of these are only instruments we temporarily use. The reason we wander through the cycle of existence, being born to age, to sicken, and to die, is because of this. We have changed bodies countless times. This means that this body is not truly ours. Every body, whether aquatic beings, land animals, birds, creatures underground, in the air, in space, or even the human body, cannot last long. Each is only a vessel we temporarily inhabit. I speak this way to point out that we do not have much time. We were not born simply to search for food, to feed the body, to sleep, then to wake again, only to feed the body once more. No matter how well we nourish it, the body inevitably grows old, weakens, falls ill, and in the end, breaks apart and dies. When this body disintegrates, the mind, the life element that has no form, empty, radiant, pure, drifts on and takes shelter again in another vessel, another body of some being. Do we realize this truth? We come to dwell in different bodies, human bodies, animal bodies. Do we recognize that this is only to fabricate and to learn that what we truly are is the pure element? As long as we do not awaken to this truth, we will continue to circle within the cycle, cycling in thought, cycling in endless fabrications, for countless aeons, without end, into infinity. When we inhabit the human body, we are taught that we are human. We are taught to have names, families, parents, children, relatives. We are taught to use this voice, to think, to remember, to struggle and search for food to feed the body, no different from animals. Many minds dwell in animal vessels and are likewise taught to think, to remember, to struggle for food. And so we learn many things of this world, yet none of this knowledge frees us from suffering, from aging, from sickness, from death. The original nature of our mind was one with the elemental fabric of the universe. It is the primal element of all existence. In the beginning, we were the clear, empty element. Before there was a universe, before there were stars, suns, black holes, specks of dust, before darkness and light, there was only pure emptiness, clear and transparent. In that primal element, there was no distance, no time, no birth, no disintegration, no movement, not even the slightest particle shift. Our original source was one essence. We all are mind, the crystal clear and utterly pure element, vast, spacious, empty. An analogy can be made with water in the vast ocean. This is the original element. One day there was a great explosion, a scattering of the water into countless tiny droplets, like dropping an atomic bomb into the sea. A tremendous blast arose, and droplets of water scattered everywhere. These tiny droplets are our minds. Wherever a droplet goes to dwell in a vessel, that vessel becomes alive. We then take ownership, believing ourselves to be that creature, assuming many forms throughout the infinite cosmos, in the soil, in the waters, in the air, in space. We fall into delusion, believing we are that animal form. Born into a body, there are parents, elders, and teachers who instruct us to think, to remember, to struggle for survival, competing, consuming, even destroying one another to sustain the body. When the body dies, its lifespan is spent. Our mind, like a droplet of water, moves on to cling to a new body, and that body then becomes alive. And again, we begin to attach, to learn, in the same way as before, until the day we awaken and realize that we are mind, the pure element. We are that clear droplet. Whenever we realize that this body is not ours, that we only come to inhabit it in order to awaken to the mind, at that moment there is a reversal of the current. We see that the voice speaking within us, this very voice, is what gives value and meaning to everything. We see that this inner voice is speaking on its own, constantly. We see that thoughts arise by themselves, that mental images are imagined by themselves. We see that emotions form by themselves: pleasure, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, suffering, neutrality, calm, all arising on their own. Seeing them, we understand. They are not us. They are only phenomena. Hearing the voice, seeing the image, feeling the emotion, they are just appearances, not who we are. Even memory itself, even the knowing that arises right now, functions naturally on its own, remembering or forgetting by itself. When this is seen, there is a loosening, a breaking apart of the sense of self. In that instant, the illusion of I collapses, opening directly to the pure element that we are. An analogy can be drawn with clear water droplets returning to the ocean. The day a droplet splashes back into the sea and becomes one with it, we can no longer know where our droplet is. But what is certain is this: the water of the ocean itself. This is the life element. The droplet we poured in, that single droplet, becomes one with the whole. This is like our mind, which is the empty, crystal pure element. It broke off from the original universal element, the primal element before anything existed, before the universe or the first star. There was an explosion within the primal element. This explosion arose because the pure element turned toward knowing. Out of that eruption, all of us, who had been one united field of consciousness, broke apart into particles, into small minds scattering throughout the infinite cosmos, clinging to material elements. In that moment, a vast mass of energy surged out from the primal element and bonded together as particles, as dust, as stars, as suns. After the stars cooled, our minds came to cling to material substances. Those substances began to change, to take on life, becoming single-celled creatures, then two-celled, three-celled, multiplying over and over. From the beginning, it was like this. Bodies arose, consuming one another. When those bodies died, eaten, destroyed, anger, hatred, vengeance, resentment arose. Then we moved on to find a new body, entering the same loop once more. We ate them. They became angry with us. They ate us. We became angry with them. We kept changing bodies in this way. Yet all of this has still not given an answer. By inhabiting these vessels, we have only learned the skill of survival, but we have never truly learned the skill of awakening the mind. In the early stages of life, evolution could not yet produce the symbolic language needed to communicate and understand the mind. Beings could only feel hunger and eat. They could communicate through scent, through movement, through sounds, the sounds of animals. The evolution of the brain had not yet reached the stage of subtle, logical language. Therefore, minds kept changing bodies. Whenever a mind obtained a body, it took ownership of that animal form. They ate each other, died, drifted off to find another body, and the cycle continued, eating one another, struggling from waking to sleep, finally being eaten, feeling anger, hatred, vengeance, dying again, and finding another body. This went on and on. It is called the cycle of samsara, the cycle of endlessly fabricated thought. We did not know that we are mind, the life element. Even now, you all have come to listen to this teaching on awakening the mind that I am presenting. Some of you were born never having heard such a truth before. You have only ever heard that you must seek money, seek gold, become powerful, live happily, and study to the highest level. We were taught this way, to think, to remember, to fabricate. But no one ever came to tell or teach us that we are mind, the empty, crystal pure life element. This is the very cause from the beginning, from our first arising until today. We are still born to survive, to exploit, to harm, to kill, to destroy one another. From the first era until now, it is the same. We are no different from animals, born to seek survival and pleasure, then die. That is all. No one has ever truly revolted against or solved the problem of birth. We are born to age, to sicken, to die, without end. Who indeed would dare to proclaim the truth? One who dares to proclaim the truth must first be one who has already awakened to the mind, who has realized the truth that everything, including this body, is not us. The body is only a vessel we come to inhabit. Even the voice that speaks, the mental images that arise, the emotions that appear, the very act of knowing, these are only manifestations of mind, without any true self. They are not us. If someone were to point this out to us, tell us to observe within, to see the voice speaking inside our hearts, could we see that it speaks on its own, thinks on its own, forms emotions of satisfaction that then dissolve by themselves, forms emotions of dissatisfaction that also dissolve by themselves? Even knowing that is present now, can we see that it knows by itself? Whenever we see this truth, at any moment, understanding flashes forth. Where is our self? This truth is something no one has ever taught. From birth we have assumed that we are human beings. Isn't that so? But imagine if our parents had already awakened to the mind, and at our birth they told us, "Father and mother only use this voice as a tool for communication. It has no real self. This voice is used to tell you to awaken within, to observe inside. Look at the voice speaking in your heart and see that it thinks by itself, beyond our control. Mental images imagine themselves. Emotions of happiness, suffering, neutrality, calm, all arise and dissolve on their own. Even memory and this very act of knowing occur on their own. They remember or forget by themselves. If we can see this truth, truly see it, and keep questioning further, then where is our self? If what knows, knows by itself, then where is our self? Look deeply, and you will find that there is only emptiness, crystal clear and pure. Nothing else has any real self. When this is understood, the mind bursts open to the pure life element. Suffering ends. Imagine then, if parents taught their children this way, what a peaceful and gentle world this would be. If we knew that everything we have clung to, everything we have believed in, does not truly exist, it would mean that there has never been a self born into this world at all. An analogy. It is as if this world is a dream. We have entered into a world of dreaming. We may become absorbed in everything within it, taking it all as real, truly hurt, truly suffering, truly happy. But if we knew that all of this was only a dream, would we still be so absorbed in everything? Would we still struggle, compete, kill, and oppress one another? Or would we instead tell everyone to awaken from the dream? While some may sink and drown in the stories of the dream, others might return to wake everyone up inside that very dream world, saying, "Do you know? Everything in this world arises because we think. Do you know? The voice that speaks right now, or the voice that speaks within, that we all hear speaking inside our minds endlessly, thinking endlessly until headaches come, until migraines, depression, bipolar disorder, neurosis, acid reflux, stomach ulcers, cancer, and countless other illnesses arise. Do you know that all of this comes because we keep thinking in circles from the moment we wake until we sleep? Do we believe that the voice speaking in our minds has any true self at all? Who among us can see that it does not truly exist? And when it does not truly exist, then why do we suffer because of something unreal? Why suffer over it? If we were simply to see this truth, see it and understand it deeply, and then imagine that everyone in the world, once awakened, would talk only about the mind in every place, through every medium, across social media. Students at school would talk only about the mind, about the life element that has no form, empty, clear, and pure. Everyone would be talking only about the mind, about how it is not ourself at all. This voice that speaks now, it is not our voice. It speaks by itself. Some might suddenly awaken and exclaim, "Ah, everything arises because we think. Arms and legs exist because we think them into being." Yet these images, these things, do not declare what they are. It is the voice that says, "wall," the voice that says, "car," the voice that says, "door," "window." The voice speaks, but the things themselves do not. Here I am, leading us back to recognize our own pure element. The life element has created fabrications to wrap and cover itself, just like a bubble. Our life element is the emptiness, the crystal clear space, like the emptiness inside the bubble. That is what we truly are. But the thin film of the bubble is fabrication, the process of perception. Whenever something touches the bubble, it feels the contact, doesn't it? And then it ripples, creating effects. These ripples are what assign meaning, that this thing is such and such. The rippling becomes voice, mental images, emotions, and memory. These rippling movements of fabrication arise in order to give value and meaning to everything, so that learning may unfold about what we are. When we observe the voice that speaks in the mind, rippling there continuously, if we look closely at that inner voice, we will see clearly that it is only a certain phenomenon, only some ripple that becomes voice, becomes mental images, becomes feelings of pleasure, displeasure, or neutrality. It ripples into all these appearances. Whenever we see that these appearances are not us, that they are only phenomena functioning by themselves, and then realize further still that even the knowing itself knows by itself, where then is the self? When we see that this bubble operates by itself, that it perceives by itself, that it ripples into voice, into images, into emotions by itself, we begin to see that this is functioning on its own. Where then is the self? Our mind struggles to find an answer, and then it awakens to the realization, since this knowing knows by itself, there is no me at all. There arises an acceptance of this truth, that there has never been a self. This voice has no entity, it is merely a phenomenon. This knowing has no entity, it is merely a phenomenon. When the insight bursts forth that there is no self at all, tears flow. We know then that we are the empty, clear, pure element merged with the element of the entire universe. Our mind has created a bubble to wrap itself in, a bubble of fabrication. It is the process of knowing, of thinking, of imagining, of feeling, of remembering. These are merely instruments we use. Once we have created this bubble around ourselves, we exist within it as empty, crystal clear space. Imagine this bubble moving to dwell in a human vessel or an animal vessel. This means we are wearing two layers. The first layer, which we ourselves have created, is the bubble of fabrication wrapping us. Then we move into the vessel and assume, this is my body, relying on fabrication to assign the meaning that this is my body. We rely on the voice that says, I am this person's child, I have this name and surname. I possess all these things. We continue to cling to the thoughts that are thinking now without realizing it. This means we are still lost. We truly think and assign meaning that we are human beings. We believe we truly have parents, children, relatives, possessions. We believe we truly have fortune, rank, praise, and happiness. We believe we truly exist as a self. Yet we do not realize that everything in this world arises because we think. And if we observe carefully, this thinking is simply the nature of thinking. This nature of thinking, this nature of imagining, this nature of forming emotions, this neutral nature, these are all natures without an owner. They are natures functioning in their own pure way. The nature of thinking performs the duty of thinking. Who can see that it is nature thinking by itself? The nature of imagining imagines by itself. The nature of forming emotions forms by itself. The nature of remembering, the nature of perceiving, all of them perform their functions entirely on their own. Simply observe and see these natures operating by themselves. Then a sudden realization arises. Oh, what is knowing here is not me. What is thinking here is not me. Everything is working by itself. Whenever this is understood, the bubble will burst into fine fragments, and at once we will know, we are mind, we are the pure element. That's all. Is it not simple? This knowledge of awakening the mind is the knowledge that frees us permanently from suffering. The world will enter peace. I will explain further. Right now, we all believe we are human, don't we? But is our mind human? Our mind is not human, is it? And this voice that speaks, is it human? This voice is the one assigning meaning to everything, giving the meaning that we are human. Who can see this? Where is being human? The mind itself is not involved. This being human arises from the mental fabrications of the mind. We remember, we believe, we cling to what we see, to what we know. We believe, we cling that we are human. When we believe we are human, a child of this family, living this kind of life, then we begin to struggle to live. We create paper and call it money, and we struggle to obtain paper, to use paper, to buy food. Then we work. At night we sleep. In the morning we rise to struggle again. At noon we eat lunch. In the evening we finish work, return home, eat, rest, and sleep. Were we born just for this? A simple question. What were we born for? We were not born merely to earn a living and then die, only to take up a new body again. We gain a new body and believe we are aquatic beings, land beings, winged beings, underground beings, beings in the air or in space. Where does our being human go then? Each time we are reborn, we begin again. As long as we still believe we are human, the struggle to live is inevitable, because the body needs food. We cheat, exploit, grow angry, hate, and resent one another. All to what end? To have food to eat, to have plenty of money, to experience pleasant emotions. We do not realize that pleasant and unpleasant feelings are of the same nature. Both are just moods. We struggle to obtain happiness and to avoid suffering. We want good food, a house to live in. From the moment we wake until we fall asleep, we strive for what is called money, though it is only paper. We struggle from morning until night, day after day, month after month, year after year, lifetime after lifetime. We want to possess money. We become angry, hateful, slander one another, speak harshly, all in the hope of gaining pleasant feelings. We strive for everything, to have a house, to have a car. Once we have a house, we struggle to pay its debt. We strive for a car, then become entangled in earning to buy and pay for it. While we are struggling for food and money, we meet others who are striving the same way. Dissatisfaction arises. We quarrel, argue, hate, bear grudges, harm, and kill. We are caught up only in these matters, competing for rank, status, power. No one realizes that the reason we suffer, harm, and destroy one another is because we believe we are human. No one teaches this. Do you know that if we simply turn against the current and awaken inwardly, if we realize that we are not human, but the mind, the life element that is empty, clear, and supremely pure, then we will be free? We only need to turn back to awaken the mind. Listen to my recordings often. If you understand and awaken, the realization will burst forth quickly. Through listening to my voice, everyone, from children to the elderly, across all creeds, religions, and nations, can understand. Listen again and again until my voice echoes inside your mind, reminding you constantly. As you listen, you will understand the mind more and more, that we are the empty, pure element, but have created fabrications to wrap ourselves, moving and attaching to material elements, clinging to the belief that we are human, clinging to the belief that this body is ours. We believe we are the body, yet we forget that the mind cannot be the body. The mind is the life element without form, empty, crystal clear, supremely pure. The bodies of humans, of aquatic creatures, land animals, birds, beings beneath the ground, have only a short lifespan. Soon they die, and we go to find another body. This is the only point. We come to inhabit this vessel. We did not come to this world to cling to everything in it. We came to this world to realize the mind, to awaken to our pure life element. This is our purpose in being born. This, for us, is enough. But for me as a teacher, and for the Panyavimutti group, we must know in far greater detail. We must cultivate a refined vision and listen to the Dhamma of the Panyavimutti group that I will teach in depth. Dhamma, that is truth itself, which, if spoken to the world at large, would be unacceptable. For even when I say, we have never been born into this world, some cannot accept it. How then will they accept even harder truths? We merely do not know that we are the mind, the life element without form, clear and pure, the original element. We simply do not know this. Once we know the truth that this body is not us, that it is only the outer shell, then we will see that our true being is the mind. Yet we have become deluded, taking the shell to be ourselves, taking the body to be us. But how could the body ever be us? We are the mind, the life element that is empty, clear, and pure. Imagine that someone with power could pull the mind out of the body right now. The body would collapse and begin to decay. The heart would stop beating. The brain could no longer think. The body is alive only because the mind abides within it. This is the reality. Whoever listens and inclines their understanding accordingly will awaken to the pure life element immediately. It is that simple. Our being has 3 levels. The level of the body, the level of thoughts, imaginings, emotions, and the act of knowing. This is the level of fabrication, and beyond them, the true level. The first 2, body and mental fabrication, are external, only instruments we temporarily inhabit. The body is not us. The second level, more subtle, the voice, the mental images, the emotions, the act of knowing, memory, none of these are us either. They are merely phenomena, merely instruments. We are the mind, the life element that is empty, clear, and pure. Because the life element has no form, it takes up a body. We can see this easily. The body arises to age, to become sick, to deteriorate, to finally stop functioning and die. That is all the body does. We feed it to keep it going as long as possible, on average 70-some years. We do not have much time. We must quickly understand this. The moment we truly see that the body is not us, we will feel light and free. This body arises because of the voice that gives meaning. Everything in this world arises because of thought. Even as I open my mouth to speak, notice, from the beginning until now, it is only this voice speaking. The voice is speaking now. Can you see it? The speaking voice of now, at this very moment. It has already passed. The present moves continuously. Picture lighting incense. The flame moves steadily along the stick. This is the present. As the fire consumes the incense, what remains? Ash. Only ash as traces. We are not the ash. We are the fire that keeps moving. This is the present itself. Our true being is here. Yet most of us play with the ash. The residue already burned. Right now, the present is speaking. Observe this simple point. The voice speaking now is what gives meaning to everything. This is the human world. The voice says it. This is our country. The voice says it. This is our family. The voice says it. These are our parents, our children, our relatives, our spouse. The voice says it. It is this voice that says everything. Even as I open my mouth to speak, can you see it? This voice is speaking everything. This whole world is a world of fabrication and thought. When we look at the wall of our house, does it speak and say it is a wall? Who can see that it does not speak? And who assigns the meaning that it is a wall? Isn't it the voice speaking in our mind? While we look at the wall, it is simply known like this, isn't it? There is a certain nature that is knowing in this way. Can you see that it is knowing? Does this knowing know by itself? Or do we have to force it to know? It knows by itself, doesn't it? While we look at this wall, it knows by itself, doesn't it? Now there is a sound contacting the ear. Can you see that it is knowing by itself right now? My voice striking your mind at this very moment. Can you see that it is hearing the sound by itself? There is no need to train to hear, no need to focus, no need to stare. We simply observe that it knows by itself, and then it thinks, giving meaning to that thing. That is a wall. Who can see here that everything arises because we think? And if we see that what is knowing here knows by itself, then where is the self? Observe just this. Understand just this. Whenever this is truly understood, the bubble bursts, and we return to the pure element, along with the complete knowledge of wisdom. Why do I say this? Let us begin at the very beginning. At the start, we are mind, the life element that is empty, clear, and pure. We create an instrument called fabrication. We create this voice. We create this act of knowing to wrap around ourselves, like a bubble. Every time we think, imagine, feel an emotion, every time a knowing arises, and we become absorbed in it, clinging to it, at that moment we are creating a bubble that encloses us. When the bubble of fabrication surrounds us, let us call this the subtle body. Once there is this subtle body, it becomes a form of fabrication, a world of fabrication. We fabricate coverings around ourselves like bubbles, and then move to cling to a vessel. We fabricate value and meaning. This is my body. This voice says, this is an arm, this is a leg. Who can see that it is the voice that speaks, while the thing itself does not speak? Where is the self? This is the coarsest layer. We are deluded into thinking this is our body because of this voice. That means we are relying on this voice. Do you see this point? We are the life element, empty, clear, pure, dwelling within a bubble. Our true nature has no fabrication. It is so clear, so pure, one with the vast emptiness of the infinite universe. In this pure element of ours there is no form, therefore it takes shelter in a body. But we mistakenly cling to the idea that this body is ours. It is not our body. If we can simply understand, even roughly, that this is not our body, then whatever happens to the body, we will not suffer. Yet the symptoms remain: pain in the legs, pain in the neck, the shoulders, sickness. These symptoms remain. But inwardly, there will be the knowing that this is not our body. Do you see this? If we cling to this as our body, then we will struggle, compete, fight, even kill, doing everything to find food to feed the body, harming one another. Because this is my body, I will eat, I will steal, I will destroy anything to feed myself. I will seek satisfaction to gratify this body of mine. This is what happens when we cling to the body. If we believe this is our body, we will become like the world is, destroying and killing one another. When the body is about to die, we suffer. When the body is beautiful and radiant, we rejoice and feel happiness. See how deeply we cling to the body. As it grows old and decays, we suffer. See how tightly we grasp it as ours. We have forgotten that we are mind, the life element. Understand this. This body comes into being because we think. Let us step back from the outside toward the inside. At first, we clung to this as our body, didn't we? Even though we are the mind, we have come to rely on an instrument until we mistake the instrument for ourselves. We are the pure element, completely free of fabrication, without form, without voice, without image, without emotion, without even the act of knowing or memory. It is utterly pure, nothing but purity. This is who we truly are. But we cannot understand ourselves as the pure element, because it has no fabricating instrument, only pure being. How could it understand itself? Can you picture this? Because we cannot know what we are, we must have an instrument. That is why we create a bubble around ourselves, by generating fabrications, by creating the act of knowing. When a smell strikes us, instantly we know. Who can see this? Who can see that it knows by itself? It knows because there is mind. If you take the mind out of this body, snap, the body dies. It cannot know anything. It perceives nothing. The body decays because it has no life. It is because the mind, the life element, abides in it that it has life. When the mind leaves the body perceives nothing. Strike its arm with a stick, it feels nothing. Speak into its ear, it hears nothing. Do you understand? Bring a scent to its nose, it knows nothing. Even set it on fire until nothing but ashes remains. It knows nothing, because there is no mind, the knowing element, to perceive. It is the mind that has the act of knowing, performing the function of perceiving. Now you see, our mind needs to create an instrument, fabrications, to wrap itself. We have created this act of knowing. Each time something strikes, snap, it perceives immediately. Each time we create this act, pop, it is like a bubble surrounding us at once. When we create the bubble of knowing, snap, it perceives instantly, and then thinks further. What is it that was known? Then we begin to give it value and meaning, pleasant or unpleasant emotion from that perception, assigning meaning to what was perceived as that image, assigning meaning as if what was perceived carries a story of its own. Because there is a bubble, it must ripple with fabrications. Do you see this? But inside, within the bubble, there is the clear emptiness that holds nothing at all. No knowing, no thought, no emotion. It is only the clear empty element. This is our life element. Now, once we have created an instrument, we become lost in relying on the instrument. This is the point. We rely on the act of knowing, the act of thinking, the act of imagining, the acts that are emotions of pleasure, pain, neutrality. We want only pleasure, not pain. Do you know that pleasure and pain are one and the same? They are emotions, acts, instruments of ours. Once we have these instruments, we think further. By relying on thought itself, we believe we are the thought. We believe we are the thought, the mental image, the emotion, the act of knowing. We believe we are this. It is like wanting to know the story of a play. You must go into the cinema to know it, right? We want to know the story, so we go into the theater. Buying a ticket, that is an instrument. We hand the ticket to the attendant, snap, and they let us in, because we have the instrument. Inside, they project everything for us to see: story, sound, image, emotion, memory, the full components of fabricating instruments. Sitting there, we believe we are this robot, this character. This is me. The story is exciting, joyful. There is happiness, suffering, drama, delight, sadness, all emotions complete within it. We become absorbed in everything inside. To know the whole story, we must have the instrument, the ticket, the screen, the projector. Only then can we know the story, right? But all the stories we have known, when the showing ends, they dissolve. When we walk out of the theater, everything dissolves, right? These states, these instruments we rely on, relying on the act of knowing, on the inner voice, on mental images, on emotions, on memory. By living with these instruments again and again, we become so accustomed to them that we believe we are the instruments themselves. It is like entering a cinema. We believe every story on the screen until we think we are the hero. We believe we are the heroine. We believe there is a villain. We get angry at the villain, displeased with them. We dislike one character and love another. We are swept into everything as if it were real. But the story on the movie screen is not real. It is only an instrument that lets us experience the story of the robot, nothing more. Do you see? It is like wanting to explore the undersea world. We need instruments. We need a submarine. We need a diving suit. First, we put on the diving suit to wrap ourselves. This is the first layer. But we are not diving suits. We only wear it. We simply use this instrument. Once we have the diving suit on, we then step inside the submarine, another layer, and descend into the water. Our goal is to explore the undersea world, to reach the deepest part of the ocean and examine the soil at the sea floor. What is the soil like down there? We want to know. We must wear 2 layers, the diving suit to protect ourselves, and then the submarine to go down and see the story beneath the water. These instruments we rely upon. In the same way, we first clothe ourselves in fabrications, but these fabrications are not who we are. The voice that speaks is not our voice. We are only making use of it. We are mind, the life element, empty, clear, pure. Then we come to reside in the body. This is the second layer. Of course, we need to care for the body, but do not forget, this body is not our body. We have not come to dwell in this body just to find food, to eat and then sleep, to chase after pleasure and then sleep again, to wake up and struggle, compete, fight for food, for pleasure, and then sleep once more. We have not come to play inside this body, to play with these fabrications. Just like the diving suit and the submarine. We are not the suit. We are not the submarine. These things are foreign to us. We do not truly want them. We do not want to wear the suit. We do not want to stay inside the submarine. Yet it is necessary to rely on these instruments so that we can descend and discover the very bottom of the sea, to see what the soil is like at the deepest depth. Can you picture this? But all of us, Once we put on the diving suit and sit inside the submarine, we start to claim them as our own. This is my suit. This is my submarine. If someone leaves a scratch on the submarine, we become angry. We want to destroy everything in our path. We are restless, constantly trying to protect the submarine. Anything that touches it, anything that marks it, makes us furious. We want to hurt, to even kill, just to defend it. Do you see how deeply deluded we are? Who can see this truth? We are lost, entangled in nothing more than this diving suit and this submarine. We boast, my diving suit is the finest. My suit is the most beautiful, the very best. No one may touch it. My submarine is the greatest, the most perfect, as if the submarine could last for eternity. But it cannot. It decays. It has a lifespan. Why waste ourselves in protecting it so much? The real purpose of wearing the diving suit and using the submarine is to explore the seabed, to see what lies deep under the ocean. That is the point. When we realize, so this is what the seabed is like, then it is finished. We rise to shore, push away the submarine, take off the suit, and leave them behind. We have brought up the soil from the ocean floor. That is enough. We no longer need the submarine or the suit. It is over. We will never need to dive again. In the same way, freedom from suffering and release from the endless cycle depend on awakening to the mind. For what we truly are is mind, the pure element. As long as we remain unawakened, dwelling in this body, when it comes to an end, we will seek another body as shelter, and the cycle will begin anew. It never ends. Right now, we are fortunate. We have been born as humans and can hear this truth, this knowledge of awakening to mind. This is the greatest blessing. Do not delay. Do not waste time. Day and night are passing by. What are you doing now? What are you searching for? Are you searching for a diving suit? Are you searching for a submarine? When will you stop being lost in these things? When will you hurry and bring up the soil from the ocean floor? Once you have it, throw away the submarine, discard the suit. You have obtained what you truly need. It is finished. Now, I have come to point this out clearly. It is simple. Just observe. This body has come into being because we think. Understand this well. Father and mother exist because we think. Children and grandchildren exist because we think. Friends, all material things, the trees, the earth, water, fire, wind, everything arises because we think. Look at that tree. Does it speak what kind of tree it is, or does the voice in the mind speak? Whoever sees this, tears will fall. Rejoice. Look at your arms and legs. Do they say what they are? There is only the open knowing, isn't there? And it is the inner voice that says, this is the left arm, the right arm, the left leg, the right leg. Is that not so? Whoever sees this, tears will flow, the heart will feel light and free. Rejoice. If we can see this, it means the body has already been set aside. We no longer need to care for it or cling to it. Better to look within. Just observe inside, the voice that speaks. Can you see that it is speaking all by itself, continuously? It creates every story, gives value and meaning to everything. Let it think. Whatever it thinks, just let it be. We only need to understand that this voice has no real existence. It is like the wind of sound. The wind blows, and then it passes. What can we take from the wind? Once we understand like this, we see that this whole world arises because we think, and the voice that is thinking has no real existence. It is only a movement of mind, like the rippling of a bubble. That is all. Let it think whatever it wants. We know clearly inside, that this voice is not really a voice. It is simply something, just a natural phenomenon doing its function. Sound is only a natural process, moving as sound. Leave it be. It is not us. It does not truly exist. It is only an appearance. Mental images are the same. They are not us. They are only appearances that ripple as images. Pleasant emotions ripple as pleasure. When things go as we wish, happiness arises. When they do not go as we wish, suffering arises. Displeasure arises. Leave emotions to do their work. Do not sink into them. We must not cling to emotions at all. They are only appearances. They arise and dissolve by themselves. They have no real being. They are only passing phenomena. Let them appear and fade on their own. We remain at ease. Let them perform their function. Let the nature of joy, sorrow, and neutrality all do their work. Let the nature of sound do its work. Let the nature of mental images do their work. Let memory do its work. Let knowing do its work. Right now, a sound is heard. It knows by itself. Let it do its work. Where is the self? We simply see these processes doing their work by themselves. Knowing happens by itself. Smelling happens by itself. Through eyes, ears, nose, perceiving happens by itself. It knows sound, knows scent, knows taste, knows the forms it sees, knows hot and cold air. It is always knowing by itself. Can you see that? Where is the self in this? If we truly grasp this with the mind accepts. There is no self. And then it bursts, boom, dissolving into fragments, leaving only the pure, clear element, merging into the whole universe. And we realize directly, there is nothing at all that is us. Tears fall, the heart is light, open, free of all doubt. Nothing more to ask. We know now there is no suffering, because there is nothing that is us. What could there be to suffer? We know this for ourselves, and we live in this world peacefully, gently, without pride, without arrogance, without harming one another, because there is nothing that is us. Then there is helping, sharing, speaking only of mind. Share my talks on the Panya Vimutti channel so that everyone in this world can hear, so that everyone can awaken to mind, so that all may be free from suffering. Let everyone in this world speak only of mind, only of lightness, openness, and the truth that there is nothing that is us. Let everyone speak of this until no one in the world suffers any longer, until no one oppresses or kills or destroys, because there is nothing that is self. Let us end here. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.